OMG, your BFF's birthday is here and you don't know what to get her? No worries. 1-800-Flowers.com has you covered. 1-800-Flowers is the ultimate birthday gifting destination. For those who know, it's not about giving a gift. It's about giving the gift. Make every birthday brighter with exclusive offers and great values on gorgeous bouquets and arrangements. To order today, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
It's not just Santa who's coming to town for the holidays. It's your relatives, and boy, are they hungry. So stop by the Home Depot for up to 25% off appliances. Plus, save up to $750 instantly. No rebates, no hassles. Not only will you get a great deal on a fridge, you'll save enough to fill it up with food. Make the holidays yours at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid November 3rd through December 1st. U.S. only. Gas appliances extra offer valid on select appliances and while supplies last. See online or associate in-store for details.
OMG, your BFF's birthday is here and you don't know what to get her? No worries. 1-800-Flowers.com has you covered. 1-800-Flowers is the ultimate birthday gifting destination. For those who know, it's not about giving a gift. It's about giving the gift. Make every birthday brighter with exclusive offers and great values on gorgeous bouquets and arrangements. To order today, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
People have told stories of the strange and supernatural for centuries. Tales of the restless dead return to haunt the living. Whispers of damned souls doing the devil's bidding on earth. Rumors of inhuman things that still hunt the old forests, untouched by the glare of modern life. There may be more to these stories than you could ever imagine. Join us tonight as we delve into the deeper truth inside these mysteries.
How the devil are you all, and welcome to another episode. Okay, right, today I'm going to be talking about the cat she. This is a bit late, we really wanted to get this out for Halloween, but work was just a nightmare, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy, and having Grandad living with us.
And helps.
Hasn't helped, no.
But, just getting back late. This run up to Christmas is always
busy.
Ridiculously busy, so... that being said, obviously, like I say, we wanted to get out of Christmas, wanted to get out for Halloween, and didn't have the chance. But, cat she, right, okay. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
I'll tell you a story about this in a minute as well. About a cat she that I saw. So the cat she then, okay, it's a fairy cat, alright, she being the Celtic word for fairy. So,
right,
cat she. Now, people believe this to be what's known in Scotland as the Kellis cats. Kellis cats are like a really big domestic cat that's gone wild.
Okay.
Alright, but it's the size of a dog. And a lot of people think that, like we get a lot of black cat sightings in the UK. A lot of people think that this might be the Kellis cat that people are seeing, because it's got a very long tail. Obviously when you see black cats, normally they have like a J-shaped tail. The Kellis cats are known to have that sort of thing, but looking at pictures of them, they look pretty much like a domestic cat to me.
Okay.
I don't think you get them mixed up with a black cat. If it run across the road, I don't know, mate, it's possible. The last known Kellis cat to be caught was caught by a hunter in 1984, I think it was. They reckon there's about 400 in the wild, but like I say, they're mostly in the north of Scotland, so could have migrated down to England. It's possible, I suppose. Okay, but that's the mundane explanation for the cat she. Okay, now I like to go along with the fact that it is a fairy. All right, and in ancient Britain, they would basically they'd martyrize cats. All right, so if they had a sacred bit of land and they wanted to keep demons away, they'd kill a cat to do this, and particularly a black cat. Obviously, we know like there's things today where we talk about if a black cat crosses your path, that's dangerous, or could bring you back bad luck. And it's the same then. This is where this all stems from. So they used to do things like they would throw cats from churches, from the roofs of churches to kill them, drown cats, etc., etc. Did you have something on the swing a cat?
Well, no, it's just when you mentioned obviously talking about killing cats and things like that, I sort of took me straight back to the plague, the 1600s, and how it was basically one of the main reasons for the plague was the fact that we had very, very few cats in Britain, because they were killing them all, and because they were killing them all, there were no cats to attack the rats and the fleas on the rats. So that was where I was sort of coming from when you said obviously about killing cats. And
so there's no room to swing a cat.
Yeah, so there's obviously loads of different what do you call them, like anecdotes or things like that with cats. So you can't swing a dead cat in here, and there's loads. Do you know what? I had loads of them.
I imagine that people. So one of the ways people were killing these cats was just swinging them around, and obviously, they couldn't do them, and there's no room.
There was loads of little things, but they've all gone out. Yeah.
So the idea is that the cat sheet, to disguise itself. Okay, so this was a black cat. So if a black cat was around, this was known to be bad luck. So people would kill it in all these different horrible ways. So the cat sheet disguised itself by having a little tuft of white fur just under its chin, like that one, that cat there. That could be a cat sheet, couldn't it? So that's how it took to disguising itself. All right. The other aspect to this is obviously the witch. Yeah. So you've got the witch who can turn into a cat, and generally speaking, a black cat, and then turn back. Now the story, the folklore says that she can only do that 9 times. Okay?
All right.
And then she'd be permanently, if she tries to transform again, she'd be permanently a cat.
Would that be like cats have 9 lives?
That's kind of where that's believed to come from. Now, this goes along with the Celtic festival of, you say that, Samhain, Halloween. Which is basically Halloween as we know it today. And the cat sheet's involved in that because and we did this, me and the kids did this. If you leave a saucer of milk out for the cat sheet on Halloween, it'll bless you with good luck for the year. Okay, so all my crops won't fail this year.
All your crops.
So
you'll have a 6-pack by the end of next year. That's your goal.
He's going to bless me. So I actually left him out 2 saucers of milk because the kids were not on Halloween night. So anyway, got 2. So that should be double good luck for me. So we'll see how that goes. But obviously, I wanted to let people know this before Halloween, but we've missed that. So you have to wait till next year, and you have to try and remember. In fact, if I remember, I'll tell you. I'll tell you all next year to put a sauce of milk out. Okay, so let's get into the actual cat sheet itself then. So, well, actually, because obviously I was going to do this for Halloween, so I should mention that Halloween. So, this Halloween situation, this Celtic belief in Halloween, it's like the cat sheet's about. Then there's a bigger version of the cat sheet called Big Ears. Okay, this is like a 6-foot version. This is like the lord of them all, if you like.
Right.
And he's 6 foot tall. He can grant your wishes, and that comes into play in a little bit. But he's called Big Ears because he's known to have either big ears or big horns. But you're talking like a 6 foot tall cat. All right. And this plays into this festival because the veil between the living and the dead is meant to be thinnest on
Samhain,
it's supposed to be on Halloween. So obviously this lets through the dead, and the idea of disguising yourself as a something dead, a ghost, a skeleton, this sort of thing, is basically just as a disguise. So when the dead are roaming the earth, they don't mistake you for the living, so they leave you alone.
Yeah.
All right. So this is why we put these costumes on, and they did the same. Anyway, so
they've got worse though, haven't they? The costumes.
Oh yeah. So there was so the cat itself would be feared, like I say, and one of the things it was most noted for was taking the soul of the dead. And if it took the soul, you'd end up in like purgatory, or you wouldn't necessarily make it to heaven.
Right.
All right. So this was really, a thing that they were really fearful of, and they actually set up a situation where people would guard a dead body, and that was known as the Fel Fadalak. All right, which translates to late wake. But essentially, what it was, people would guard the body all night, and it was believed that if you could guard the body all night till morning and get it in the ground without the black cat crossing the body, then that soul would be saved.
Okay.
All right, and they used to go to great lengths to do this. Obviously, like I say, people would stay up all night with the body, take it in shifts and things like that, but they'd stay up all night. Now, the idea, so you put the body in the room, okay, in the house where the person lived. There'd be no fire allowed in that room because cats like fires. All right, so they're drawn to it and they go lay by the hearth, don't they? So you couldn't have. But what they could do, they could put a fire on in a different room to try and drag the cat away. The cat sheet would go to that fire and not necessarily go near the body. All right. The other thing they do, the cat sheets are quite. What can you say? They're quite like they're intelligent and they're like a challenge. So people would challenge them to like a dancing competition or a spelling competition or just anything, just to occupy them, keep them occupied away from coming what they was coming for, which is the soul of the body. Nobody really knows what they did with the soul, but they know that they the soul wouldn't like it very much if the cat got near it. So they did all these things. I mean, the people would would like get this one paired in the house because if they could pair from time to time, so if someone would take it outside and challenge it to a race. And then as the cat she'd run off, they'd come inside locked doors and things like that because it couldn't turn down a challenge because it's always like trying to prove itself. So this is the Fel Fadalak. All right, so there's another ritual that involves the cat she, and this was it's not a very nice ritual, I'd admit that. It's the torture and killing of cats. All right. Now, if you could do this for 9 days, you would get to have a wish, okay? And again, this would be Big Ace that would come along, and he would grant you this wish. Now, every person who took part in this, grotesque event would get a wish, all right? So there's no limit, and it's not like you get a free wish, you just get a wish. And this was called I don't even really know how I say this, but it's like Tagmora, something like that. Depends where you come from, I suppose. But now, one known account of this actually being successful came from the 17th century in the Isle of Mull, and this was performed by two brothers, okay, Lachlan MacLean and Alan MacLean. And it said that they had there was down on the luck, okay. There was farmers at the time, and there was the story. I mean, we touched on this when we did the Blue Hood, where the guy was so poor, he was never likely to marry anything worth marrying. All right, he might get a missus, but she's going to be,
she's going to be a dog.
Yeah, she's not going to be great.
That was really
well, yeah, but she ain't going to be great. So the more wealth you've got, the more choice you've got, haven't you? So they were down on the luck, farmers, and they decided that they was going to perform this ritual, and obviously they could ask for a bit more wealth. And it said that they had a barn on the farm, and they spent 2 weeks gathering cats and just putting them in this barn, right?
Oh, right, so it wasn't just torturing one cat for 9 days?
No, it's 9 days. It's consistent. Basically, there's a spit, and you just spit roasting a cat for 9 days. When that one's dead, put the next one on. When that one dies, put the next one on. And just keep doing it. And that spit cannot stop turning. Apparently, there's a phrase in Scotland where it's whatever happens, keep the spit turning. And it comes from this. Because I'll get into the story, but the two brothers captured these cats, okay, and then at midnight between Friday and Saturday, they started the ritual. So they're turning these cats, and what would happen as the cats would realise there was going to be tortured to death and all that. Obviously, the cats would try and hide around the barn, and it'd be a long, drawn-out process, catching the cat, putting it on the spit, and that one, screaming to death, and then obviously the cat's going mad. You can imagine the cacophony of noise in this barn. And as this was going on, the cat shees would come. Okay, so they'd start sitting on the rafters, yelling things at the guys who were doing it. One of the things that was recorded of what this cat she said to one of them was, Lachlan, son of Neil, that is a poor usage for a cat. Things like that, you know what I mean? But his brother said to him, whatever you wear, whatever they try and do, no matter what, just keep that spit turning, okay? Because they will try to unnerve you. Obviously, they don't like this being performed, do they? So they kept doing it, and obviously, as it goes along, more cat shees appear. Okay, so you can imagine this room's really getting full with these cat shees now. You ain't going to catch them. They've got to decipher which one's a cat she, which one's an ordinary cat. They're there to complicate things, okay?
Yeah. And
to keep adding insults and things like that, just to keep your mind ticking over, okay? So this one big cat she turns up, and he says, "You must stop now if you know what's good for you. Desist before great-eared brother arrives." This is the big cat, the boss, the big ears. He says, "Or you will never behold the face of your God." Okay, now it'll come into play in a little bit. So anyway, they keep turning spit, and eventually they complete their task. And Big Ears arrives, and he grants them one wish. It said that these men were, by the end of this, were at the wit's end, as you can imagine. There was almost going mad. And then all of a sudden this Big Ears pops in. And he doesn't say anything, and they know they get one wish, and they ask for wealth. Just one word, wealth. And it said that the brothers went on to be really good farmers. I think they even became like knights, and they had a good old time, big castles, all the trappings that come with it. Now Lachlan died first, and not a lot's known about his death, but Alan died shortly after Lachlan, and he called for a priest to come to his bedside. He knew he was dying, and the priest knew about what the cat had said to him. You remember when the cat said, "You'll never be able to see the face of your God," and this obviously disturbed Alan, and he said to the priest, "I think I won't be able to see the face of God. I think I'm going to hell, essentially." But he did say to the priest, he said, "If I can find my brother in hell, I know we can overthrow the devil and rule his kingdom." All right, so that was his plan going into hell. And it is said, and other legends say that the brothers were seen on that night he died. The brothers were seen together, clad in armour, on horseback, riding to the sunset, essentially, ready to go to hell to face what was coming. There is another story that goes along with this. It's called the Witch of Morgan or something like that. Some Scottish word. But essentially that story is about the cat she as well. It's where this hunter has been hunting, and he's out there with his hunting dogs. A storm comes in, and he finds this little hovel, like a little shepherd's hut. He goes into the shepherd's hut, and in there's a black cat.
Right.
And he comes in with his two dogs, and the black cat starts speaking to him, and he says, she says, "You've caught me. I'm the witch. Please don't harm me, and and I'll sort of look after you," type thing. And he says, "All right." So and she says, "Come and sit by me by the fire, and I'll sort of give you a wish or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll make something happen for you." But he's not trusting of this witch, right? He knows stories about witches. He knows you can't trust them. So she says to him, "Come over here." And as he goes to approach her, she says, "Oh, no, leave the dogs back there, tie them to that post." So he's like, well, I don't trust her. So he ties a knot in the rope, just ties the rope around the post. So it looks, to all intents and purposes, like he's knotted him to the post, but he hasn't. Anyway, he starts approaching the witch, sit by the fire. And as he gets nearer, she turns into a witch form. And she basically tells him he's breathed his last breath on this earth and dives on him, starts strangling him. Well, obviously, as that's happening, the dogs realise that the master's under attack and they approach. And the witch cries out, "Tighten rope, tighten." Expecting the rope to tighten and the dogs to be no use at all. But obviously, she didn't know that he hadn't tightened. So the rope tightens and the pillar breaks, but the post breaks, but the dogs still get to her. And it said that the dogs were grabbing hold of her and biting her as much as they could and dragging her around. That they kept on her because she wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? They kept on her until they'd lost every tooth in the mouth of these two dogs, and eventually she had enough and run away. Well, the master stayed in there with the dogs that night, but they both perished during the night. Anyway, next morning he goes home, and when he gets home, he's confronted by his wife, telling him that this local old lady of the town is dying. She's been attacked by wolves during the night, and he knows straight away. He's like, "Hang on a minute, this is the witch." So he goes round to her house, and of course, there's people there looking at her because she's in a bad way. And he pulls back the covers, and she's got bite legs all over her arms and legs and that. And he says, "You're the witch," and she says, "I am." And she said, the priest there and that, she said, "I need to confess my sins and that. And if I can confess my sins, hopefully, God will take pity on me and I can get to go to heaven." So the priest listens to what she has to say, and she dies. But the story goes on to say that there's a guy walking back from the pub late that night, and it's dark, and he's walking back, and he sees this woman coming towards him in a black shroud, and she says, "Can you help me? I need to find the church." And she says, "Which way is it?" And he just points in the direction. He's drunk, he just points, and off she goes. Anyway, he's walking further down the road, and a bloke comes on horseback, big knight on horseback, and he says, "Have you seen a woman come this way?" And he says, "Yeah, she's going that way, towards church and that." And this bloke whistles, and these two hounds race ahead of him. And the knight trots off on his horse, and the drunk guy's like, "What the hell's going on here? Have a good night." So he carries on walking down the street, and after a few minutes or so, this knight trots back past him with his two dogs, and the body of a woman laid in front of his saddle, all torn up and that. And that's believed to be the witch. She didn't quite make it to the church. When she died, her soul was trying to get to the church to be exonerated, I suppose is the right word, but she never made it. Satan came for her and got her. So that's the story of the cat sheep. Now, well, you got anything to say about that? No,
it's quite interesting. I remember you obviously talking about Halloween, and you came over to mine, and you even your daughters were like, has that cat got white underneath it? And so obviously it's quite a poignant story in this household. But I mean, I've never heard of it, to be honest.
Well, they put the old saucer of milk out for the cat sheep.
Yeah.
To be fair, it pissed down all night. So when I woke up in the morning, the milk had gone. It was just water in there. So
yeah,
I mean, we took that as if the cat sheep had drunk it all, but who knows?
Yeah, like Santa eating the mince pies. Yeah.
But when I moved into this house on cat cheese, because before I knew this story, I just thought I saw a ghost cat. But it never made sense. And I think I told this story on the show before. I'm not 100% sure. I think I probably have.
You've done so many episodes.
Yeah. But essentially, when I bought this house, I didn't live in it for a long time. Because I was away a lot. And I came in one day, and some work had been done in here. And I came in to have a look at whatever the work, I can't remember what it was that had been done. That there's literally nothing in this house. I think downstairs there was maybe a carpet put in, and I think by then we'd done the settees, which was quite interesting. We came in, right, there was no carpet down. I bought these settees, and we had to build them, put the legs on and all that crap. So we had them in there, and like I say, the house was completely empty. There might have been a fridge and things like that, but essentially the house was empty. and there was no carpet down then. It was all... Oh no, sorry, the carpet was in then. Yeah, the carpet was in then. And we was building these settees in the back room, and it was me and my brother. And we were doing these settees, and then all of a sudden you just hear someone walking through the thingy. Obviously on the hard floor, but we've got a carpet down now. Walking through, and he's like looking at me, like, and there's nothing else in the house. It's completely bare. And I was like, "Did you hear that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I heard that." Fuck that, I'm going. And he's gone. Left me there. So that was when so only a few days after that, I came in again. Again, there's nothing in the house. And whatever this work had been done, it might have been decorating or whatever, but I went to have a look at it, and I went upstairs. And as I'm the only one in the house, and as I've gone up the stairs, this black cat's run up the stairs, looked at me in the landing, shot down the landing towards the master bedroom. And I thought, oh, fucking hell, there's a cat in here. It's all you need, isn't it, when you're not awake. So I've gone up there thinking, oh, shit everywhere and all that. So I've gone up the stairs, and as I turned the landing, this cat's looked back at me again, and it's just charged, and it's just run and jumped straight through the wall. So it's run straight across the landing, straight into the master bedroom, then straight through the wall, like jumped through the wall. There's actually a radiator there where it jumped through. And for years I thought, well, that must be a ghost. But say it was a replay of a ghost, why would that cat be jumping through that wall? That goes nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, that wall, it was a front wall here, so it's always gone out to the front.
Street,
so it's never been anything other than a wall. The window's next to it. You know, the window's about 2 foot away from where it went through the wall. It could have got, you know, if it gone through the window, even then, you know what I mean? Why would it go through a window? But it didn't. It went straight through the wall. Now, is this the cat shoe? I don't know. But the interesting thing about this is, with all these things, you know, people say, well, I've never seen a UFO, or I've never seen a ghost. And I say, well, do you believe in UFOs? No. Do you believe in ghosts? No. Right. So you don't believe in any of these things, and you don't see them. And generally that's the case. Now, obviously, there is occasions where people who are sceptical and that bump into these things. But in general terms, generally speaking, should we say that if you don't believe in these things, you won't see them. It's almost like you've closed your mind off to it, and you just can't see it. Now, there's been occasions, I've had happened to me myself, where two people looking at the same object see completely different things. And I've known that where people have been walking through a busy town, they've said, well, you know, seen a UFO above them, and there's 5 or 6 people around them, and they've said, look at that, you know what I mean, expecting people to run a mile on that, and everyone's looked up at it and said, what, it's just a plane? And they say, no, it's a disc. And they say, no, it's a jumbo jet. They can't see it. The mind.
I do think there is something to that, because I am a lot more skeptical than you with a lot of this stuff. There are things that I do believe, things I don't believe. I'm very closed-minded on things. So, like, I mean, to me, this sounds like a load of crap. But I can understand the point. I mean, you've told us stories of, obviously, you know, seeing things, you know, that thing you saw under the cupboard under the stairs. And, you know, I just think when you say stuff like that, I'm like, you should be in a mental hospital, because to me, I can't see it. But I also find that I was slightly skeptical about things like Bigfoots and dogmen and things like that when I started to sort of speak to you and things like that. But I've become more open-minded to that. And like I said, the things that I've seen, just simple things like seeing that scarecrow type thing on the motorway that disappeared in front of my eyes, which was probably about 6 or 7 foot.
Which was probably a Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, it was
in
quite
hindsight.
Yeah, and also driving down the A180 and
a lot of people make this mistake of thinking that a Bigfoot's going to be really broad, stocky, muscly, that kind of thing. A lot of the cases, particularly in the UK, they're 50-50 really. A lot of them are that, but a lot of them are more like people describe it looking like Usain Bolt, that sort of. Yeah, that build,
that would be a similar build to what
but taller.
Yeah,
so like more athletic looking.
Yeah,
with a tapered waist and all that. So
yeah, that would have been a pretty.
It's not what people expect to see, but that's what people do see. But then again, people do see in the same area. They see the bigger ones as well. Yeah. Is it a male? Is it a female? Are there 2 different species? We just don't know.
No, and I think, you know, I have been I've always been open-minded to, to things like UFOs, extraterrestrials, ghosts, things like that. That's never crossed my mind as something not to believe in.
With the UFOs, I would say most people would say there's got to be something out there. Right?
I can't imagine anyone doesn't say that.
And then it's just, so everyone would accept, pretty much everyone, 99% of people would accept there's something out there, but it would be 50-50, out of those 99%, 50-50, which, whether they believe they've got here or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't think the concept of, because like places like Belgium and that, I mean, the government talks about them openly. When they stop sending fighter jets up to chase UFOs, there's just no point, it's a waste of money. Can't catch them. What's the point? And
the Pentagon's obviously released.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries that are open to it now, but they haven't crossed that line where they've gone. We've made contact with them, or they made contact with. I don't believe they have. I don't believe that aliens are particularly that interested in us.
No.
But carry on.
No. I just think it's I mean, like I said, there are things that I do believe in, and with those I have had experiences. Do you see what I mean? Whereas I've never had experiences with things that you believe, but that, like you said, you can look at that in two ways. You can either look at that as the people who don't believe, they don't want to show themselves to because they don't believe, so why would you waste your energy on that? And you could also say it as the people who do believe are just batshit crazy.
Yeah, some are. I think.
Do you know what I mean? There is that argument.
You have the other thing where people just won't accept it. So people will see things and then they'll try and come up with loads of things that it could have been. It could have been this. It could have been that. I've been there with people where we're seeing the same thing, whether it be a shadow man or whatever it is, and we've all seen the same thing, and yet they'll try and explain it off. It must have been a trick of light. It must have been this. It must have been that. Tricks of light don't normally slam doors or run down.
No.
But you know what I mean. They'll still try and explain it because they don't want to accept the reality that this thing was rarely there, especially if it's their house, and they've got to sleep there and all the rest of it. So there's a lot of things like that in there. So.
Yeah, no, I agree,
but that's the.
What do you guys think? That's the other question.
Yeah.
Is, are you guys like me? Do you think that there is certain things that you can believe in, and other stories that we come out with on here are just a load of rubbish, or that things that can be explained? Obviously we did the Blob a few weeks ago, and that's one that can easily be explained away, I think. And there are things like that when you look at paranormal stories. There are a lot of things that that just because it's come across like that, it can be easily explained away. But yeah, what do you guys believe? Do you guys believe like me? Are you closed-minded to a lot of this stuff until you hear about it, or are you
seeing
sort of
is
open?
believing, isn't it?
I think it
but
is.
But then a lot of people don't want to put themselves in a position to see.
No. And, I think when it comes to things like, I mean, obviously I've started...
It's like I know a spot, pretty much, not guaranteed because I don't think you can guarantee anything, but I know a spot where you can pretty much go and see a dogman. I know two spots. Yeah, where if you wanted to see a dogman, you could literally go there most nights, late in the, early hours in the morning, but you will see a dogman. Yeah. No one wants to go.
Can you blame them when you actually listen to some of the stories though, of people disappearing?
No, well, yeah, I do, because they're totally skeptical, right? This can't exist. It's not real. There's no such thing. You're nuts. Blah blah blah. Well, come and have a look then, right? Yeah. Come, and if you don't see anything, then fair enough.
Yeah.
But if you do, but they don't want to. I don't know what it is.
I mean, the fact that I'm in bed most nights at 10 o'clock is.
But you've still got to go. You've got to go and see, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see your point, and there is. I think you've.
It's like when things happen to me out in the thing, a branch breaks or whatever it is, and this is not a little branch. I don't run away. I go towards it. Now that's not normal, right? But I'm there for that reason, so I can't run away. Everything in my body's telling me to go the other way, but I don't. You know, I go towards it and I shine a torch, and you ain't gonna. Generally speaking, you ain't gonna see these things because they're well gone before you get anywhere near them. The fact that they give themselves away by breaking a branch in the first place is enough for them to get out of there.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, but
the thing you got. I mean, I always say things like Bigfoot's dogmen and things like that. They don't want to be found. There's a reason why there are limited sightings, and the sightings that we do have are not very good. You get some that are half decent, but majority of the sightings you find are pretty.
Yeah, majority of them are just accidents, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I've always said, I know we did a show on it, but my belief, well, I know it's just a theory, I suppose. It could be completely wrong. But I do feel that the Bigfoot are hiding, not from us, from something else. They don't go to all these lengths.
My biggest argument with people who are skeptical about Bigfoot, because I was talking to my kids about it, and I said, what do you think? And they're like, no, it's a load of rubbish, I said, tell you what. I said, do you believe in pandas? And the answer is, yeah, of course we believe in pandas. We've seen pandas. And I'll tell you what, go back to 1940, 1950 in England, UK. There was a rumour going around that in Asia, in China, there was a black and white bear, the same size as a grizzly bear, that doesn't hurt people and only eats wood or plants. And everybody thought they were mental. That was until Prince Philip went on an expedition to China and found pandas, brought back physical evidence of the fact that pandas existed, and now we take class pandas as second nature.
Well, it was Roosevelt's lad that shot him, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
hunted one, then that was a French woman that caught two.
Yeah, but before that, the West didn't believe pandas existed.
No.
So, and that's because we didn't see them.
Well, more up to date than that is the billy ape. The billy ape of the Congo, and this is a 6 to 7 foot tall looks like a chimpanzee, I suppose. 6 to 7 foot tall ape, silver haired, and lives in the Congo. But the thing is, science accepts this because we've got photographs of it, and I think we've got a couple of bones from it that were rescued from some butchers or something in the Congo. But we accept it now. It's like, oh yeah, it must be there because we've gone out and got photographs of it. I know it's like there's only like 2 or 3 photographs. Well, last time I looked, there's only like 2 or 3 photographs of it in existence. That's it.
But there's more of Bigfoots.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? But the billy ape's accepted just because we've got that bone.
Yeah.
So,
but could it be a fact that we have got enough physical scientological, is that the right word? Scientological?
No,
it's not.
The right word.
I'm making words up.
Yeah.
But if we have enough physical evidence to prove that Bigfoots exist, but
we don't, do we? That's the problem.
But how do you know that? How do you know?
At the moment,
you hear stories of people shot them and the police.
Yeah, but they never bring anything back in, do they?
So why are they hiding?
But we do have trace evidence,
something?
Don't we? That's what we have with the Bigfoot at the minute. Here, there, everywhere.
I think they're the original species of this planet.
If the authorities have them, again, if the authorities have got them and they're not telling you about them, then that's got to make you wonder why. There's something more to it than
there's got to be.
They want us to know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's sort of off subject.
That was completely random chat there at the end. So.
But I'd be interested to know if people have got any, because the cat she's a fairy. So I'd be interested to know if anyone's got any theory stories. Because obviously people listen to us from all around the world, and the fairies are pretty commonplace in most folklores.
Yes.
Which again gives some more credence to me. And I know I've seen 2, so I've possibly seen 3. If that was a cat she, I don't know. But then even that, I was like going down a street the other day, and this black cat running across the road with a big long tail, but it was the size of a kitten. It wasn't the size of a cat. It was probably like half the size of hair. But it had the tail was like almost as long as its body.
For those of you who don't know, he is actually pointing at the cat that sat on the sofa.
Yeah, normal domestic moggy.
Not just pointing at his wife saying her.
Look at that pussy.
But
so It's probably half the size of... the thing I saw was half the size of a domestic cat. It was like a kitten, but it was out in the wild,
really
essentially,
long tail.
with a really long tail. So, but that was because... But the thing is, I was doing this research on the cat sheet at the time, so is it like... Do you know what I mean?
Well, it might be something that you've seen 100 times before and never
thought about it.
Yeah.
But no, but it was still out of place because of the shape. First of all, you don't see kittens running around very often, do you?
No.
So that was the first thing. Then it had a long tail and it was jet black. And not only that, it run across the road, and instead of going through the open gate, it jumped over the wall in a bound. Which I don't see a normal cat doing that. Jump on the wall, I get, because it doesn't know what's on the other side, does it?
No.
To jump over the wall in one bound, I thought that was... Do you know what I mean? It's just a lot of things didn't add up, but I could just be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 12 as normal, but
yeah. I
just thought it was interesting while I was looking at this, that I saw this. But again, that's what I'm saying about seeing is believing, but not always. Believing is seeing, you know? If that makes sense. Put it if it does, we'll put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah... While you're here, you know, go over to the shop and have a look at the t-shirts. You know, there might be something. Well, it's definitely something in your size. So just pick a picture you like and buy one.
Yeah, I've got a few up there now. There's some new ones.
I try and put the link to the shop under the episodes. Yeah. No, I don't always. Sometimes I forget, obviously, but if it's there, anyway. But anyway, what I was saying before, yeah, if you've had if you know of a fairy story, or you know someone that's seen one, or you've seen one yourself, then please send it to us. Because I'd like to do more on this, more on fairies, and I know they're around the world. You know, in the Americas, they see small fairy people. A lot of cultures do, and they believe it's like a primitive man or some sort of small Bigfoot thing. But I don't think it is. I think it's more fairy.
Well, I mean, cultures have always believed in fairies. I mean, like, yeah, I know you call me mad, but I look into Norse paganism, and you know, it's split into different realms, and there is, you know,
well, they would do the same things, wouldn't they? Where would leave offerings from?
Yeah, fairies are quite common in paganism,
and the same in places like Ireland, and that, you know, you still leave. You want your work done, you leave an offering out, like some butter, or that's one of the big things, butter in it, or milk, or things like that, and then they'll do work for you, you know, the brownies and things. So I think that's quite common. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that people from, you know, other places around the world that we might not have heard so much about, have got similar. Maybe they don't call them fairies, but similar things.
Similar stories.
Scandinavia, we know.
Yeah,
but still, you know, if people have got them, but send them to us. Either get in touch with us get over to the Facebook page. Most people are on Facebook, even though most people hate and everybody knows it's shite. But most people are on there because it's just...
Well, you're on Instagram as well. That's your podcast one on there.
Oh, we don't put much on there, do we?
No, we don't. But we've got that just to get in touch. You've got...
Oh, yeah, you got Instagram. But that's Facebook as well, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, but yeah... Well, I don't like Facebook, but I've got Instagram. Well, yeah, same thing. But we all think it's shit. But if you're on it, then send us a message. Go on to... find us on Instagram, Bizarre Tales Podcast. Find us on Facebook, Bizarre. Don't put the other thing in because you won't find us there. Bizarre Tales Podcast, you'll find us. It's the one with the owl. And send us a message. Yeah. Or just get us in touch with the email, the old email. supernaturalpod@gmail.com. Again, that should be in the show notes. Not always clickable, but it's there. You can copy it.
Yeah. You have to put some work in yourselves sometimes. Yeah.
But get
in touch. Let us know.
And then if you've got any other sort of shadow men, things like that you've seen, then we want to know them as well. We want to know everything.
I want to do in a few weeks, if we can get enough bizarre tales off people, and that can be anything, guys, absolutely anything. That can be fairies, giants, Bigfoot, ghosts, UFOs, anything like that.
Not like Nest Monster.
No. Well.
Or mermaids. We're not doing mermaids.
I like mermaids.
No.
See, I believe mermaids.
You would.
Yeah, I would. But yeah, anything like that, any random weird stories that your personal experience, get them over to us, because I want to do a show that's purely on listeners. So you guys are going to do the show. We're going to read it out if you're not comfortable in coming on the show.
You can always record it and send it.
Yeah, or you
if you're
can
comfortable
record it
doing
and
that,
send it to us. But I want to do a show purely on listeners only. So it depends how this show could end up being a 2-hour show. Could be a special, but you guys have got to get that happening. So drop us a message, let us know, and just a quick shout out to a few new reviews that we've had. For all three off Apple Podcasts. One from GW. I'm going to guess that's IIV, because I don't know a Roman numeral that starts at IIV. Anyway, thank you for the 5-star review. That's from Brazil. So that's awesome. Great content and amp. Delightful accents. That's because I've joined, so we know about that one. Keep up the good work. Second one, Ryan of Mon Valley from the United States. So thank you for that one. I really enjoy the variety of topics this podcast covers, from cryptids, aliens, UFOs, paranormal, and way more. Very entertaining to listen to. Again, I'm going to go with the fact that this is because I've joined.
Well, there is way more than that as well.
Yeah, there is more. Third one, love
spotted.
It. 5-star.
Ryan.
Sorry? Well spotted. Yeah, well spotted, Ryan. Next one, 5 stars. Love it. From Cabtism. Where's that from? I can't see.
Thailand.
From Thailand. Wow, awesome. Thank you very much.
Pretty cosmopolitan there.
Yeah, love the content, lads. Keep up the good work. Brazil, United States and Thailand.
So there you go.
We're international.
Keep them coming, like I always say. If you can rate and review us, do that. If you can't, send us an email, send us pubes in the post, whatever.
Fucking hell.
You can always send us an email, though, saying you enjoy the show. Fucking hell. People actually writing to us saying they enjoy the show is, like, amazing, really. When you think
there's
about
nothing
it,
better than
especially when
reading
you've got people listening in Brazil, America, Thailand. All right, they're the only 3 people listening, but
well, they're not, are they? We know you guys are
Yeah.
there, so
reach out. Say
let us
hello.
know. We'll give you a shout out.
Unless you specifically like that, and you have to ask for it, but that's a request.
I bite.
Yeah. But that being said, that's the cat shit, bit of Bigfoot shit, and hopefully you send us some stories. So thank you very much for listening. Sorry it took so long to get out.
We will endeavour to get them out a lot quicker.
Yeah. It's just work at this time of year is absolutely crazy.
Mental.
So, with that being said,
thank you very much.
And we will see you
on the other side.
Well, they've gone. No, just for now. It wasn't the right time for us to meet. But there'll be other nights, other stars for us to watch. They'll be back.
It's not just Santa who's coming to town for the holidays. It's your relatives, and boy, are they hungry. So stop by the Home Depot for up to 25% off appliances. Plus, save up to $750 instantly. No rebates, no hassles. Not only will you get a great deal on a fridge, you'll save enough to fill it up with food. Make the holidays yours at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid November 3rd through December 1st. U.S. only. Gas appliances extra offer valid on select appliances and while supplies last. See online or associate in-store for details.
Snow falls on an old apartment. Inside, the holiday season is in swing. On the first floor, Cokes are poured and stories shared among friends. 3 flights up, one generation passes down the family recipe to the next. Inside every home, there's magic. Coca-Cola. Real magic.
Enjoy the real magic of the season with close friends, family, and refreshing Coca-Cola paired with all your holiday meals.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cash Back Match. Now to recap and say cash back one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
When Sandra doesn't talk to a Mattress Firm sleep expert, junk sleep presses the wrong buttons in her brain. And Sandra presses the wrong buttons in the elevator. leading to a dreadful journey for her and the accountants now headed up to floor 42. 7, 8, 9. While Sandra avoids eye contact, let's reflect on how a better mattress would have led to real sleep. If you need real sleep, head to Mattress Firm and unjunk your sleep today.